Hello, wonderful people. Have you dealt with the loss of a friend, especially if you're a guy, you have no one to talk to and it just eats at your soul? Well, I'm here to talk about that. I want to share about my story about losing my best friend, someone I would call a brother. And hi, if you're new here, I'm Kahir. I'm here to take you one step closer to self-love. Now, felt really inspired to make this video because I'm planning to go back to my hometown in the States, and it got me nostalgic. And in my videos I've been also talking about this person, Yusuf, if you watch my previous videos. And alright, let's start here. So what made this bond, what made this bond special was that it was a childhood friend. Let's see if this will work. Right. What made this special was that it was a bond of a childhood friend. Right? We met in 2nd grade, and we, you know, how kids are, it's so easy for them to make friends, right? But this was different, you know, like, I never felt a connection with any other kid. Even like back then, there was still some like bullying. I always felt like an outsider. But with Yusuf, something just clicked, right? You could just tell that, because so we spent great 2nd grade together, and then in 3rd grade, and what is that but not fate? And the thing about Yusuf was that he was very smart. I always looked up to him. He was very wise, like an old soul. You know, he stood out from the crowd. He wasn't like, you know, how kids can be like super goofy when they're, of course he was very funny, but like, for example, we were reading about the Communist Manifesto just for fun. We talked about World War II, about Joseph Stalin. And we also found out, because I would call him cousin, partially because during that time we played GTA 4, and Nico and Roman are cousins, and I was like, oh, cousin. But I mean, there is something to it, because my grandfather is actually from Iraq, from Baghdad. He was a 1st generation immigrant of Iraqi parents, right? That's also something we connected with, that we both felt like outsiders, that, you know, we weren't American. We had this, you know, huge other culture that affected us. We couldn't put a name on it. Chaldean, right? Chaldean is like the Christian minority of Iraq. And my grandfather was Chaldean as well. So think about it. Very, very low chances of that happening. All right. And of course, during like middle school, we had stupid arguments. I said something that I didn't mean. In fact, I didn't even know what I really was saying. I don't want to get into it. It was something pretty bad. And he, you know, he didn't talk to me about it. He would like look at me like this. Whenever I try talking to him, he'd be like, and I felt so bad. I felt so bad because what I said was really, really mean. But I wanted to like apologize. And eventually I'm like, hey, Yusuf, I'm so sorry. Like, is there a way I could like make it up to you for what I said? And he's like, okay, yeah, let me, like, you could, let me punch you in the face. and well, I let him punch me in the face, and we were, you know, even. Like, on his recollection, he said like we weren't really close until high school. I said I always thought we were close because we were in this dysfunctional family together. Our nervous systems were on fire. We would say crazy shit to each other. And Zadkiel was always like even weirder than I was. Like in recess, he would hit kids with his belly, and then the kids would be like, "Oh, you're humping me." And since we're twins, they're like, "Oh, is that the kid that humps people?" I'm like, "No, it's not me." So I didn't really want to spend time with my twin brother. So he filled that void. We shared dreams together, like what we're gonna do when we're gonna be rich. We're gonna travel around Europe, stuff like that, man. It's hard to express, but like I think men know if you had anything like that. And here's the crazy thing, guys. Then he left to Germany, in about like sophomore year, and that hurt as well. It felt like the same thing, that he was a sophomore, he's gonna go to Germany. How long is he gonna do that for? And it was only for a year. All right, hello Megan 420. Let me know if you hear the audio right, because I double checked and I don't know, something's I don't know if it's working. Okay. What was I saying? He left to Germany. He came back. I had a feeling that we're going to see each other again. And just to reiterate how much there is like brotherly love, in my senior year of high school, I wrote a play because I was always a theater kid, and last year in senior year you could there's this thing called one acts where you were able to write your own stuff and make your own play. Basically, it can be, you can pick write what you know. It's about anyway, and I made a character for him. Like his character was Yusuf. He was my cousin in the play. I'm like, it's such I think a high honor for somebody, someone. And I made him like a really good character. Like he saved the day in the play, basically. But like I said, there was always, not always, but we just with any friendships, we had our moments. But like if he got upset, he wouldn't say anything. He would go away. He would like. There's one I went shopping for like the very first time to like a Whole Foods, because as a kid I would always go with my mom, and I was like, I want to go grocery shopping by myself and I want to be healthy, and I bought tomatoes, and then Mama says like, we already have tomatoes, how much money you spent on tomatoes? Okay, she didn't do that way, but I felt so guilty and not so good. But anyway, but the closer we started getting to adulthood, I don't know if his first job, but one of his first jobs, if I remember, he started working in Steak and Shake, and something changed. They made him do a lot of stuff that he wasn't paid for. Like he had to be the fry cook, he had to clean, he had to be the cashier when he was only for computers. It was just all because that was the thing you did. I also had the same thing, like, oh, that's like how you make good money. But it was like extremely expensive, and I never worked at one of those places. I never had a part-time job in the States, maybe for good reason. I think I wouldn't last a day. This is my temperament. But still, I felt guilty. My parents made me feel guilty as who I didn't know, and I became like their punching bag. I don't remember what he said, but I remember like feeling so isolated. Like I wasn't able to express that. I just resented it. I logged off. I'm like, we called once on Skype, and I don't know. That's the thing. I have no idea. I think this is just my thesis. I do think like there was a lot of, stuff we just didn't talk about we both had our own resentments. I think he had a lot of resentments about me that he just kept secret. And then he's like decided like, oh, I'm not worth his time anymore. Which I wish, this is the thing. I just wish we were able to talk this way. Let's talk about what's going wrong. Let's try to fixing it instead of being like, oh, I guess I have to hold this shit in. And it takes two to tango. I did reach out. I even said, I remember I wrote a message on him on Discord. It was like, I was just thinking if I were to pass away this year, I'd feel bad about leaving things unsaid. And he said, oh, I'm going through a lot. I'll let you know. And then he never let me know. It sucks. But I still love the memories. The memories can never be taken away. And I think it's important to speak the truth, right? Maybe are you stressed about work? What's going on? Make more of a conscious decision. Like, okay, is it worth being friends? I don't want to be mistreated. Or like, what's going through your life that you feel like you want to attack me? Remember this, when I'm right. Hey brother, just hopped on. What's happening? No, I was just telling a story about how I lost my best friend, but that was quite some time ago. Just